Hey y'all, I'm Staci and welcome to Healing Stories. This is a place where I hope to build build on the concept of living your values or your highest good, living what you really believe to be right in the world, not in other people, not how you expect other people to be. They need to do them, but for yourself. That idea that we each have a meaningful thing to do with our lives, or many meaningful things to do with our lives, and sometimes those are big things, and sometimes they're little things, and every day we do a little bit for that good in us or in our reality that we're living with. And I've been inspired lately. I've just been so inspired lately by all of these vlogs, I think they're called, the YouTube channels of people that are really out there making what they want to out of their lives in this beautiful, beautiful way. Um, and I thought, oh, I want to do that. I want to live my truth. I want to make things happen. I want to do that. Oh, and my phone rang. And so I started looking at, well, gosh, what do I'm watching these YouTube videos, I'm watching these channels, I find myself checking back every day just in case they've posted. And why is that? And what makes a successful channel? Like, what makes me come back? And so I thought, well, okay, you have to have a theme. You have to have a theme that is consistent, more or less. Like, what are you posting about every day that's people come back for that thing? And it has to be relatable. It has to be a theme that other people care about too. Like, if I just posted about my life every day, unless I was somehow super relatable, I just am not sure that a lot of people would follow that. You have to post pretty regularly. You have to have excitement for what you're doing, and joy. I think the people that I'm most happy to check back in with, their joy in what they're doing and what they're sharing just comes through so clearly. And I love that. It gives me more energy to do what I love to do, especially if it's a similar thing, if we share that goal or that joy in common. Doing what you love, I kind of covered that. Shared values, I kind of covered that. Good video equipment and good editing skills. I definitely like the ones where they put in music, or where they cut out the boring stuff where nothing's really happening, or they're stuttering way too much. I mean, we're human. It happens, and it's okay. But 20 minutes of that and 2 minutes of content would be a little painful. And then I thought, well, gosh, what am I bringing to the table here? What is my theme? And I thought, gosh, I don't have any of those things going for me. What am I doing? Like, is this even my dream? Something that happens a lot, I've noticed, is, for me, is that so often I am holding a dream or a goal or something that just really matters that I want to bring into the world. And I go along and I put energy into it and I research it and I look for examples of success in that thing, or I just enjoy, finding all these pieces and putting it together, what it's going to be when it happens in my life. And then all of a sudden, somebody that I am really close to has that same goal, and they didn't before. It may have been years that I've been holding that goal or that dream and feeding it, a little bit of energy here, a little bit of energy there. And within a year or two, it'll come true for them. And all of a sudden, my need for it to happen diminishes. It's almost like I'm incubating. I'm incubating and energizing these beautiful dreams that I would love to see happen in the world, and it doesn't mean that they're mine. And it took me a while to be okay with that. It was actually kind of difficult the first couple of times that somebody said, "Guess what? I'm going to do this." And then they did it, and I'm still where I've been the whole time. That was hard. But other times, or more recently at least, it's so exciting. This thing that I've wanted to have happen is happening. And I love that. I love that these things are happening. And I also recognize that there's always room for more, more people living on that road that's been my dream destination. I actually have a different dream destination now, even though I just had a friend move there. So now I get to visit, which is even cooler because I know I don't really want to live there permanently and I can visit. That sort of thing. And so I'm not sure if this YouTube channel, blogging, vlogging, wonderful thing is really mine to bring into the world in this big, beautiful, successful way, or if I'm carrying it and nurturing it and supporting it for someone else. And certainly many other people are already successful in doing this. And so I've talked with a couple of friends, people who I know are just going to support me and want the best for me, whatever that is, and who trust that I can come up with what that really looks like. That's really important. They're not taking the dream away from me. They're not telling me it's a stupid dream. They're not saying how I need to make that dream happen. They're just being present with that with me, and if I ask for suggestions, they have them. And that's wonderful. So what I've come up with is that on the one hand, it really does help to have the theme and the equipment and the reliability and the energy. And on the other hand, really what matters is showing up. And so I've decided to start showing up and just see what happens and see where that goes and see who comes along for the ride. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. I don't have to have all of the answers right now to take a step forward and to know that it's a good step. Whatever the next step is, even if it's off to the left or to the right, or, depending on how this shows up on the screen for you, whichever direction that is, I'm still taking a step forward with what I know right now. And that's the best thing that I can do, is the best that I can do right now. So a little bit about me, and then, this will be plenty for a first video, I think. I was a reference librarian for quite a while, and in that time, we went through a recession, and libraries around the country started being shut down. I actually did work my way up from ground bottom to a reference position, more or less. I was responsible for managing a program at multiple libraries that included reference work at times. It included being able to do anything at each of those libraries almost that needed to be done. And then I got really sick. In fact, I was really sick before I started working in libraries, and it just got worse. And one day, the HR director called me into her office and said, "You need to go home. You need to go home, and here's some paperwork to fill out. And bring that paperwork back to me. Maybe talk to your doctor about it first." And I went home and I looked at the paperwork, and it was disability paperwork. And I filled out the paperwork. I cried about it. I did not want to lose my goals and my dreams at that time. And I was denied. I was denied for disability because I didn't have a diagnosis that at the time was widely recognized as real. I was diagnosed with multiple chemical sensitivity. And quite often I would be walking around with a white glove on my hand to protect my hands from the dirt and the dust and the mold spores and everything that goes along with working in a library. The Sharpies that I had to hold my breath when I wrote with them on the back of the magazines, and the magazines themselves that were brand new and were just off-gassing like crazy, all of those things. I thought, well, as soon as I leave, I just need a couple of months of rest, and then everything will be better. You know, my chemical sensitivity will calm down. I won't have to wear the glove. Nobody's going to be saying, hey there, Michael Jackson, because you're wearing one white glove. Huh. You know, none of that is going to happen anymore, and it'll be fine. I'll be fine. And a year went by, and I was still getting worse. And so during that time, I said, well, I'm not improving. It's been a while. I need to support myself here. I need a way forward. And clearly, there's more going on than just chemical sensitivity, because I've gotten as chemical free as I can get on a limited budget, and there's not much here. I'm pretty au natural, you know. Correct me in the comments. How do you pronounce that? Yeah. Anyway, maybe this is a moment where I get to practice editing. We'll see. Maybe I won't. I might just post this. It's more important to post than it is to edit and get it perfect, I think, for me at this time. And so I went in search of what's wrong so that we can heal me. I didn't say, I just want these symptoms to go away. I said, I want to figure out why these symptoms are occurring, and I want to heal that. And so I worked my way through modern medicine and saw a variety of doctors who said, well, I can help you with that symptom, but not all those other ones. And, you know, maybe it's just in your head anyway. And that hurts. I'm sure anyone with a chronic illness, most of us go to multiple doctors through a variety of resources and types of doctors and specialists, and what can be wrong with me, why isn't anybody helping me, is sort of a theme, I think, with chronic illness that I hear a lot of. And I think in some ways it's even worse if you're female, not because you're more sick, but because our society has this idea that's pretty embedded, quietly embedded, that women are just hysterical about things, that we work ourselves up over nothing all the time. And that means that quite often our doctors say that they know more than we do about what's really happening with our bodies. And that it's just in my mind, that if you just, you know, let up the psychoses, you wouldn't have these symptoms anymore. And don't self-diagnose, and don't tell me what is going on with you. And it's like, wait a minute, when did this stop being my body? What if it is a psychosis? Help me fix it. I want to be well. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be brain foggy. I don't want all of these symptoms. I don't want these weird rashes on my hands that burn and itch and seep weird colors of fluid, and like, no. And eventually, thank goodness for Obamacare. I know it has not treated everyone equally, which is too bad, because I think that is the end goal, is that we all have equity in our health care and our access to health. For me, it saved my life. It meant that I was able to go to a naturopath who, while she was not the person who diagnosed me, she knew that there was truly something that I was suffering from, and she started testing from the get-go, blood tests and all kinds of fluid tests, and really, let's narrow it down. Let's see what you don't have and go from there. And it was the first time that I felt like I actually had a doctor who believed me, who wanted me to get well too. And that was almost 3 years ago. And in that time, I've continued to get worse, and now I'm just sort of barely starting to get better. And it's really exciting and really scary. I don't want to be that sick again. I don't want to backslide. And in fact, now I have a lot of chronic illness diagnoses, and I know to call what's going on in my head brain fog. I have a lot of brain fog. I I have an Instagram account at Staci Stories, Staci. And I was recently nominated to do 20 Things About Me. And so I did that today, actually. And one of the things that I put on there was that I have multiple chronic illnesses. No, wait, there was something else. Oh, and one of the things that I put on there was that because of my brain fog, because my memory still suffers at times, and my linear thinking, I'm not sure it even exists anymore, and my logic is somewhat hampered when I'm having a really bad health day. I basically get by on good intentions and intuition, and that's what I do. And I feel so lucky, actually, so grateful that many of the things that I now enjoy and am still able to do in my life, that's really what they're about. They're about good intentions and intuition and storytelling, healing stories. So that's where I'm starting. That's where I'm coming from. And my hope is to figure out, first of all, what is that question? What is that question that I'm going to start with every time that I turn on this camera? The question of the day. Maybe that is it. I don't know. Hopefully, if you find this, probably by the time you find this, there will be a few more videos to look at and check out, and maybe I'll even have figured out editing and a few of those other kind of important details. But in the meantime, welcome. Welcome to the Healing Stories channel. I'm going to say that again. Welcome. Welcome to the Healing Stories channel. And whatever it is that really motivates you, that has you saying, yes, I want to be that, I want to do that, I want to live that with my life, instead of saying, but the situation isn't perfect yet, instead of saying, but all of these other people aren't doing the right things, say, so what is my next step? What is the best step forward that I can take right now in this moment with what I have in this moment? Like with what I already have, what's the best thing that I can do for me, about these goals that are these beautiful, highest self, healing story, doing my thing steps. Because it's more important that you take that small action every day. And it's more likely to lead to success when you do that than if you wait until everything is perfect and you're perfect and what you want to do is perfect and you have the resources that are perfect to make it happen, because perfection isn't real. It's airbrushed. So with that said, blessings on your journey. May we meet again. Thanks.